I was on a strategy call yesterday with a student, a new student in our group coaching program, and he runs a really cool company. Really cool company. I don't want to go into the details of it, but let's just say he helps a very underserved demographic at a very vulnerable point in their life, and he is making a massive impact on the quality of those lives, and it's absolutely beautiful. And we were talking about different ways that we can solve for the lead generation issue. How can we get this product, this service in front of more people who this could serve? Because at the end of the day, if you have a product that can help the world, you should do everything in your power to let as many people know about it as possible. So we're brainstorming, okay, how can we start creating content in particular? Because organic content, whether that's on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, that is one of the most powerful ways to reach hundreds of thousands of millions of billions of people. Right? And it's pretty much free to do. Right now, I'm shooting a podcast that we are going to redistribute, and I think our total server cost on Buzzsprout is, let's ballpark and say it's about $100 a month, right? That's practically nothing compared to the reach that this content can have. And so we're brainstorming some different ways of creating content and sliding it seamlessly into his day so it doesn't take up unnecessary amounts of time and energy, and he can do this in an organic way. And so I want to share an idea with you that you can use in your own business that will help you create better content on the fly and not get inside of your head quite so much. And the number one thing I want you to leave this conversation with is to understand it's more important to put out organic, authentic content than it is to put out highly produced artificial content. A lot of times, the thing I find that's holding people back is they believe they need to have the ultimate production value. They're like, I need to have this scripted perfectly. I need to look beautiful. I need to edit this. I need to have it needs to be flawless, right? They're treating it as though it's going to be a Super Bowl commercial. And not even like a Kanye Super Bowl commercial who just shot it on his phone, right? The truth is that stuff doesn't really matter. Take this podcast as an example. I have the high production videos that we do on the main YouTube channel, but then I also have this podcast. And a lot of the content that I do on the different platforms, it's not super high production value. I'm adding a ton of value with the content itself, and I'm trying to connect with the audience in an authentic way that people look at me and they think, oh, I like that guy. I want more of that, right? And when you do that, that's how you build a ravenous audience who really loves and supports you rather than just being attached to the glitz and the glamour of the production. So I just wanted to put that aside real quickly because I find that to be one of the reasons a lot of people get in their own way about creating content. Now, the idea here I want to share about how you can create organic, awesome content on the fly is whenever you are consulting, whether that's on a sales call, or after you have delivered the proposal, or after you have delivered a result for a customer, I want you to pause and reflect on the conversation that or the interaction that you just had with that prospect or customer. I want you to review that in your mind and then think, okay, how could I share what just occurred in that conversation with my people? And then just turn on the camera and go. For instance, in the example of the gentleman that I was on the call with yesterday, let's say they're doing contracting. And so they go and they consult on designing a bathroom in a very particular way for a very particular demographic of people, right? So he goes in there and he's talking to the landowner or the homeowner who got a quote from the contractor, and she gave him the blueprints, and he looks at it real quick and he just starts marking it up. And he goes, oh, okay, you don't need this, you might want this, you're gonna wanna readjust this and this and this and this, right? He gives it back to her and he says, okay, cool. If you guys want our help with this, let us know. We'd love to help, but this will help guide you, right? Now, that's a perfect piece of content that he could have just gone when he got back to his truck, pull out his phone and literally be like, hey guys, I just got off of a consult with a client. And she ran into one of the most common problems that I see, which is they get a quote from a contractor and there's a lot of stuff in there that's not necessary. So here's the 3 things I want you to look out for when you're going through your bids and looking through your quotes to make sure you're getting the best deal possible. Bop, 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 right? Boom, post that. That's all. That's it. That's all you got to do. Low tech video. Like, doesn't have to be super high production. Lots of value, fresh off your mind of the conversation you just had with that person. What were the solutions you proposed to them in that sales consult that you think could serve somebody else? Because you're having the same conversations over and over, right? You have the same objections, you have the same issues that you're trying to solve for all your different clients. So when you have one conversation with one person, you can be sure that if you were to transform that into a piece of educational value and then put it out to the world that it's going to serve other people. The other side of this is after you have served the client, maybe he goes in there and he does the renovations, he does the work, he can shoot the video and be like, hey, we just finished up this work, here's how we did it, here's how we approached it, it took us 3 days, here's how we block out the work, whatever. It's kind of showing a before and after. So this is a really easy way to just start pulling people into your ecosystem and show them what you're doing without being sleazy and salesy. You just say, hey, here's the conversation I had. And you'll notice as you go through my content, I do this a ton. I'm using examples from, hey, somebody just DM'd me yesterday, they had this problem, so I'm gonna bring that to you. I was working with a client. The whole impetus of today's video in a meta type of way is exactly this concept playing out in real time. I started it by saying, I had a call yesterday with one of my students, a strategy call to break through how he could do his content. And now I'm sharing with you what I shared with him. I'm eating my pudding, guys. Like, come on, like this is it. This is the game. So take this, run with it. Please start sharing your story because I believe entrepreneurs have the capacity to transform the world. I believe you are doing good for your community, for your families, and all the lives of all the people that you get to serve. And I want you to do it at the highest maximum level possible. So please do that. Take this, run with it. Don't just sit on the information, go and execute the information that I've shared with you guys. And I can't wait to see what you build. So we'll see you in the next episode. But until then, stay hyper-focused, my friends.